This is the T-Post. Fast horses, real life, and oversharing like it's our jobs. That's Jesse.
And that's Peyton. Grab a drink and maybe a helmet. It's going to get bumpy.
Okay, we're gonna jump probably right into the
Betty Bible study.
Bible study.
It's really hard for me to say that. My brain just like...
Yeah, I don't know why mine was farting out too.
You be farting.
Farting out.
Brain and otherwise.
My brain be farting, my bowels be farting. It just happens, but you know what? We embrace our body's natural functions. Lord of mercy. All right. So we're gonna jump into 2 Peter, verse 10. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, make every effort to confirm your calling and election. For if you do these things, you will never stumble. And verse 11 says, and you will receive a rich welcome into the eternal kingdom of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So if we backtrack here.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Well, that's a bug of sorts. It looks like a hybrid fly. I don't know.
I've never seen anything like that.
What is that? I was like, did I not read that correctly?
No, I looked at it. I'm like, is that a grasshopper? But it's got wings, and it's not as big as a grasshopper.
I don't know. There's some weird bugs. There's some real weird bugs around here. There's a bright yellow fuzzy caterpillar over there earlier. It wasn't the regular brown and black one.
Does that mean it's poisonous?
It might be, because it was like yellow fuzzy.
The brown and black ones are actually moths. Caterpillar.
Caterpillar. It's the caterpillar.
Wait, what is it? I think I'm confusing myself. Is it caterpillar?
It's a caterpillar.
Who says caterpillar?
Caterpillar. It was like a TikTok or something.
Why is that in my head? A caterpillar? A caterpillar. Caterpillar.
I'm totally putting that in here.
My brain hurts.
That was too funny.
Anyways.
Hello. So in this section of 2 Peter, it's about confirming one's calling and election. So I'm just going to kind of backtrack a little bit here up to verse 5. I'm going to summarize for time's sake. But it talks about adding to your faith. You add goodness, knowledge, self-control, perseverance, godliness, mutual affection, and love to your faith. So it's not just about your faith, but if you make all of these efforts and you make the effort to confirm your calling and election, basically how I am interpreting it in this moment, in this kind of season that you and I are both in, if you are going after these things that God is calling you to do and you're being obedient, essentially, things are going to go right. You're going to see more of God. You're going to see these fruits of your labor, is essentially what I'm gathering from it. And yeah, you will receive a rich welcome into the eternal kingdom of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
I also, I don't know if I'm understanding this the wrong way, so I apologize if I am, but when it's talking about all these other basically characteristics, what I understand it is if you're going after the calling that God has for you, you're going to build those characteristics, which are essentially fruits of the Spirit.
Yep.
And God-like characteristics, which just makes you more godly.
Yeah.
Not that you're ever gonna be God, but that's the whole point is to kind of like, I guess I shouldn't say the whole point, but you're supposed to be more like God.
We're made in His image.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's kind of how I interpret it too. And when I read the title, confirming one's calling and election, it's just like, wow, that seems to kind of like
that makes sense.
Fit into what we're talking about.
It really fits into right now. I love when you are coming up with these Bible verses because it's all things that I'm struggling with and you have no idea.
Yeah.
Like you maybe have some idea, but not at this level.
No.
I don't think, because it's like it's always fresh too.
Yeah, it resonates for sure. And I think that can be really hard for us. It's like, you've talked about it plenty, but it's like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this really what I'm called to do? Well, yeah, and he also wants you to keep.
But he's going to grow you through it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Characteristics in mind, and
he's adding these characteristics and growing you into them at different levels too, as he builds you through whatever calling he has in your life.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think it's so cool. I've met a lot of people. This is going off on a tangent again, but it just popped in my head. I've met a lot of people who are like, I'm not good at anything. There's nothing that I'm good at. Everyone has something. There are so many people that I have met that I'm like, no, you're like really good at this. You just, you're too scared to go after it because someone told you it's not sustainable,
right?
Or they're afraid for you, so they're telling you it can't happen. And maybe it's not your job, maybe it's a side thing, whatever. But every single person I have ever met has some type of talent that they are good at, and I'm trying to explain to them, these are literally gifts from God. That is part of your calling.
Yeah.
And my aunt told me this once when I was singing in the car, and she stopped the music and she told me that I should sing more. And I was like, well, I'm not as good as my cousins, and like I've never had like official like singing lessons like they have, so it's not as trained or whatever. And so I just felt like I wasn't good enough to like pursue it, I guess. And like they sing at church and things like that, or what my aunt will sing sometimes at like supper clubs and things like that, whatever.
Yeah.
And she was like, Jesse, it's a gift that God gave you. If someone gave you a gift, would you just keep it wrapped and put it in a closet?
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
And I'm getting chills now. I didn't really understand it quite then. I just felt like really shy. I appreciate what she did. Lisa, if you're listening, thank you. I don't know if you remember this, but I know she listens to some of our podcasts. So, but I think about it a lot now. I don't think I kind of understood it, but I didn't understand it as much as I do now. Of like, God gave us all a gift of something. There is something you're naturally just like good at, and it could be speaking, it could be like something artistic, it could be something like sciencey. I don't know. Everyone has something though, and everyone here is here for a purpose, and everyone has at least one thing that they're like naturally good at, and God wants you to pursue that, and he'll make a way through that. And even if it's not necessarily like your job, like that's part of your calling. And so I think about that gift thing all the time, and I think that's why I'm at, where I'm like, am I not supposed to be doing all these things? Because I never want to get to a point where I'm like doing these things because I love them, but it's not what God wants me to do, because I don't want to be prideful about it. Like, I want to be proud of my work, but I don't want to be prideful in what I'm doing and like not have God involved in it.
And not giving him the glory.
Yeah. And so when I've been getting overwhelmed, to tie into this last episode that we just did, that's been something I've been thinking of, is like, I don't feel like he's telling me not to. I think I'm just training on how to juggle all this stuff right now, and maybe at some point I'll have to slow down one aspect and speed up another, and it'll just be this pivot and balancing act that I get to do.
Yeah.
But I truly feel like photography specifically was one where I had it on the shelf for so long because I felt like I didn't have help, and I felt like I was supposed to put it on the shelf, but I don't feel like I'm feeling like it's supposed to come off the shelf now. But I don't want to have a present in the closet that I didn't unwrap.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go to heaven and have him be like, I gifted you this, and this, and this, and you just...
What did you do with it? Yeah.
And now, you don't feel fulfilled, you don't feel happy, you spent all this time miserable. Ugh, goosies. And I'm getting a little emotional.
And there's a verse in the Bible that essentially says that when Jesus returns, he wants to see you working. He wants to see you doing these things. And that's why I think it's really cool. Like, going back to this where it says, for if you do these things, you will never stumble. So if you do these things and you have, this way about you, you have goodness, knowledge, and self-control, perseverance, etc., like, you're not going to stumble. Like, this is the point. Like, you keep your faith in God along with all these things, and you do what, you're called to do. Yeah. So it's like, you literally, you're about to just start.
Yeah. Crying. It really hit me hard. But I don't want to go to heaven and have him be like, you spent all this time frustrated or not fulfilled and you didn't do this. That's why we're doing this.
Yep.
Because I was thinking it for so long, and then you were like, I talked about it, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing the podcast.
And that's very much how I felt like going into it. I was like, wait, what? What are we doing?
Mm-hmm. And it's weird because I started this like years ago, and then like it, you know, turned into something I didn't want, and I also got scared. I could have changed the narrative and stepped out more and corrected the false thoughts and comments on it that spiraled because they were actually out of context. I could have, but I wasn't in the place, and I wasn't doing it at the way that we were doing it now.
Right.
And I wasn't necessarily, I was talking about God a little bit, but I wasn't
doing it for him.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, this is a fun idea.
Yeah.
But I wasn't also like living for him yet either. He was in my life. I believed in him. I talked to him and stuff, but it was not, I wasn't living for him. There was definitely a shift in between, probably about 2 years after that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I find that really, I love it when you come up. I know I need to do the same for you, but lately you've been coming up with Bible verses, and I just love
that.
I know, but I love
the
that
wind
so
blew
much.
and it opened it, and I like put my finger down, and I was like, huh. Oh, should we talk about?
I was just gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
So we did that for the last episode. I think this is what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And we talked about basically I'm sorry, I'm struggling with words. How when you're going after basically living for God, that there's going to be struggles, basically.
And how there are people that are going to try to persecute you for being Christian.
Yep. And going to, basically living for God. And we took a bathroom break and to let things recharge and whatever. Speaking of which, am I still on? Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, you're on.
Yes.
We were talking about it, and then we took a potty break, and she was in the bathroom, and I literally just opened up Facebook, and Cassie Stephenson, if you're watching, your Facebook post popped up, and we literally read the verses like directly before that,
but it was like directly underneath.
Oh, it was directly underneath it.
Within the same exact chapter.
It was talking about the same thing, and she literally had just posted. I don't even think she had anything on the post anymore. I don't remember. I have to check, but I want to see now.
Yeah, it was in First Peter.
It refreshed, but she literally posted it 3 hours ago when I looked at it, and it would have been like when we were talking about it originally. Okay, so she added more to it since then, but at first it was just suffering for being a Christian. Dear friends, don't be surprised at the fiery trials you are going through as if something strange were happening to you. Instead, be very glad, for these trials make you partners with Christ in his suffering, so that you will have wonderful joy of seeing his glory when it is revealed to all of the world. And we literally were like reading. And
then the verse right after that, the verse 14, if you are insulted because of the name of Christ, you are blessed, for the spirit of glory and of God rests on you.
She was reading 12 to 13, and we started at 14. And she did that 4 hours ago. It says now it would have been probably right before I guess we started recording, but I didn't see it until after we had recorded that. So I just find it very interesting.
And she didn't pick the verse.
No, I didn't. So... Nope. But I saw.
I don't think I'm friends with her
Cassie.
on Facebook.
And she also added to it. I'm going to read what she posted. After sharing my struggles and my thoughts yesterday, this is a scripture that spoke to me during our sermon today. It wasn't even the scripture that our pastor was preaching on, but when I opened my Bible to 1 Peter chapter 3, my eyes were pulled to chapter 4, verse 12 through 13. And this was a scripture that I saw. And this is what I mean when I say God is revealing himself in the smallest detail of every day. He gave me comfort and helped me restore my faith. So, Cassie, I hope that you're watching this in 2 weeks, and you can, maybe it'll be a little God wink for you, because it was a God wink for me. And obviously he is, he wants this to be talked about right now, clearly, because he obviously spoke through you today, and he spoke through you today.
Yeah.
So
it's weird how it was so sequential. Like, she had posted
within
how many hours.
It was within an hour of us.
Yeah, and I was drawn to the verse immediately after that.
And we didn't see that until after.
No.
So obviously that's something God wants to talk about right now.
It's really cool.
So I literally, she came out of the freaking.
So it's a little lesson.
I'm just like, what is happening? She got out of the bathroom. I'm like, I didn't say anything. I don't think. I was just like,
no, you were literally like looking at your phone like wide-eyed, like, whoa.
I was too stunned to speak, and I never shut up.
Confirmed by my future mother-in-law and my boyfriend. Because I don't think you heard it when you were in the bathroom. Like,
I heard him.
"Did Jesse go home?"
It was too quiet. I thought she left. I was laughing in there.
Oh, he's like, she must not have heard me.
Oh no, I did. I was laughing. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that's the coolest caught on camera.
Yeah. I hope she sees it. I'm gonna let her know about it
Oh
later.
yeah. If anything,
Maybe
tag her in
wink.
the post when we post the link.
I'm sure
for
she's
everything
the only reason
in a
I
couple
brought her
weeks.
name up specifically is because she shared the story about the animal communicator situation that she had and like her experiences and all that before.
Mhm.
So I felt like if she was okay to share that,
Yeah.
then she would probably be okay to share that. But to share something like this. But yeah, he obviously wants us to talk about this right now. Not just us, but I think it's so cool. Like how if you tell God to use me, like let me be a vessel, he will use you.
Mhm.
And like whatever he wants out there right now, you'll see like stuff like this where it's like the people who are asking to be used, it's all something similar at the same time because he wants that message to get out at that time.
Mhm.
And I love that he uses us even though we are so unworthy.
We're
And like
goofiest and the weirdest,
and like stumble over our words, but I
Mhm.
also feel like it allows us to be relatable too, and like you don't have to be up here to like you know, and I think God actually prefers that. I think, you know, Jesus literally washed people's feet.
Mhm.
He was a servant. He was a king, but he was a servant, and so
He
like
served the people.
And so I think people get it twisted where like they think the opinion or the maybe value of someone in any aspect is not there just because they haven't reached a level of status of some type of status. Anyway, yeah. Back to the pedestal thing. First of all, you don't have to have a certain status to have a value of any type. Obviously you need to be humble, but like I just feel like people, whether it's horse stuff you're trying to learn or like anything, and I'm not just saying this because like we're newbies and like have no status basically.
Mhm.
I'm just saying this because I've learned this not necessarily the hard way. I've just learned over because I've never been one to not take advice.
Yeah.
At least consider it, you know.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of knowledge out there, and I think especially someone who is centered in God, if they're giving you advice, I mean, take it back to him in any aspect, but don't just write someone off because they're not at a status that you think is like enough to like whatever
Be worth something.
Yeah. Because God might be speaking through that person to help you, even though they don't have the status or whatever. Right. Obviously, take everything back to Him, but I think that things need to be considered more. But while I'm talking about pedestals, also don't put people on pedestals because people are people, and humans are just humans, right. And no one should be on a pedestal. And God's a jealous God, and you're not supposed to have idols, like literal idols. So
yeah, that's a huge part of the reason why like celebrities like don't phase me.
I've always been that way too. I actually forget a lot of celebrities' names. Like I'll be like, oh, she played in this movie, but I don't know her name or whatever. I know very few. Like same with singers and things like that. I'll know a song and I couldn't pick like a lot of famous people could walk right up to me and I would have no idea who they are. And I've not been criticized for it, but a lot of people are shocked when I tell them that. I'm like, I'm not trying to be. I looked like another fairy bug and I got excited. I'm not trying to be like a bitch when I say that or like. I'm better than you because I don't know. It's just literally, I don't care.
Right.
And also,
you're not God.
Yeah, and also, they don't pay my bills. Like it doesn't benefit me anyway to like know who these famous people are. Yeah. I follow like a lot of horse stuff specifically, but even then, I'm like,
I just like seeing what other people can do.
Yeah, I more admire I like admiring people's talents and when you can watch someone's skill build, I admire that a lot. Yeah. I like watching that. But like as far as just like knowing people to know people, not me. I don't think there'd be very few people that I would see and fangirl over. Fangirl in the way of like, you know what I'm saying? Like people are like completely coming apart. I mean, I cried when I saw Fallon, but a lot of that was I didn't even really cry. I got teared up, but I had literally just won my favorite buckle. She was like asking me about my business and complimenting my horse. Yeah. And I thanked her for doesn't know she did this, but she like, and I told her then, but like when she started doing like a lot of like self-help stuff, it helped me. Like I needed that at that time, so I thanked her for it, and it was just kind of emotional because there was a lot of emotions. But I didn't like fangirl over her for like, you know what I'm saying? Like how some people will be like just whatever. Maybe she probably thought I was crazy because I asked her to give me a hug. She gave me a hug, but it was just kind of, I was just like appreciative of like what, whatever. And I just wanted her to know that like, if I hadn't just won that buckle and stuff, I think it would have been a little less whatever, but but I'm not one to like really fangirl. And I don't say that in a disrespectful way. I admire quite a bit. But I think fangirling is a little weird and creepy.
Yeah. Like these people that build like those like parasocial relationships online.
I don't like that. It scares me. It's giving stalker.
Like the biggest thing is like the Justin Bieber and like Selena Gomez.
All of those ones are so creepy.
And it's like, because like I'll come across this stuff on TikTok and I'll be like, oh, like, what's going on here? And I'm
like, have you seen, I think this is so creepy. People think it's funny to do, but I find it so creepy. Lately on TikTok, people have been using AI to like be like, make an AI picture of me and like Zach Top.
Oh.
And it looks real.
Yeah.
And they'll post it as a joke and be like, hard launch or whatever, and some people think it's real because it does look so real.
Yep.
I think that's creepy.
Yeah.
I think
why AI is like
so creepy. If I was famous
dangerous.
And someone did that of me, I would be like really creeped out because I'm like, how would you, okay, let's think about this. How would you feel if some person did that to you that you didn't know? Whether you're famous or not, like, wouldn't that weird you out a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, to put an example, let's say there's a boy at school you're just not into, and he posts on TikTok an AI picture of you two. Would that not weird you out and you'd be like, that's so creepy? But for some reason you think it's okay to do that because it's someone famous. Do you not think that they're going to be creeped out by that?
Yeah,
to me, it's giving like, I'm going to put you on whatever list I have of watching.
Yeah.
Because like those people that are that crazy, they'll do crazy shit out of emotion.
Well, like on the same wavelength of like being crazy, I obviously have to freaking talk about football, but
7.5 out of 10. Sorry.
So like during the NFL draft, people will get these guys' phone numbers and pretend to be like the GM
of like mean.
Yeah, to call them and I'm
like tearing up. I don't even like football.
It's
that
scary.
Makes me angry.
Well, it's like, how are you getting these guys like they're fresh out of college, most of them?
You know how excited they probably are too, and then they hear a call and then it's basically a prank. That is disgusting. Like, I'm sick hearing that. I don't even care about football either.
Right.
Like, that is disgusting behavior.
It's the same way of being like,
you need to go to a therapist.
Yeah.
Like, that is so weird.
And it's happening more and more every year.
It's so strange too that people like, they'll see someone famous and they think that like, oh, because they're famous, if I can do this because it's okay because they're famous.
Right, because
they're literally just people.
To it. Yeah.
They're just people.
They're just doing something that they like.
And they got lucky.
They're good at.
They got lucky and blessed enough that it took off and they make a lot of money and so more people see it. That's all that is. Mm-hmm. And so like, I don't know. I don't want to say I feel like bad for famous people, but I do to an extent when it comes to like stuff like this, because your life is better in a lot of aspects with like money and stuff too, but they all still have struggles of like, a lot of people can't, like, I don't care if I go shopping, but for example, some people love to like actually shop in person. I love my stuff getting delivered because I'm antisocial. Like, I'm not even antisocial. I just don't have,
it drains your battery.
It drains my battery and I don't have enough battery to give to it. So if I had a like more leisurely life in a sense, I would probably go shopping. Mm-hmm. Like when I lived with Denny, one of my favorite things was like a slow day with him and we'd just go shopping and get some lunch, like whatever. Because I could actually just enjoy it, but I didn't have an agenda that day. Like I didn't have a million other things I needed to get done. Every other day I, like by myself, I do. So, because it's just me, like, whatever. But I don't understand, like, I don't know. It's creepy behavior. Just know if I ever get famous and you do that to me, I will literally call you out.
Yeah. There are some who are like, that's not okay.
Like, that's not endearing. That's not whatever. I don't care if I lose you as a fan because I would rather have you lost as a fan than have you my fan. I'd go do that to somebody else. It ain't gonna be me.
Yep, exactly.
I ain't the one. I've never been quiet. I'm not gonna shut up now.
Yep.
Not over something like that. So, I think that's it for Betty Bible study and bitching.
Yeah. leaving that in.
I was hoping you would. All right, so the topic I'm going to talk about, because it's kind of going around, I see it on like Facebook forums and stuff often lately.
Mm-hmm.
I think you probably do too. Is like people talking about like, I've seen it on TikToks too. There was a couple girls who were complaining like because they weren't handed $50,000 horses and like all the rigs and stuff, they're like upset, like they're never going to make it and blah, 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 blah. And like, while it's sometimes frustrating, because I get like, I'm literally there too.
Yeah.
To like see someone, and I'm going to say this, I don't ever feel jealousy for someone, but I will feel frustration when I see someone who's like spoiled rotten, not spoiled and like just a good person and like whatever, but when you see like the kids who are just like rotten kids, they're not disciplined, they're handed all this crap, the horses aren't even taken care of that well,
squander
like
opportunities,
just squandering it, that I have a hard time with. It's not jealousy, it's just frustration, because I'm like, I wish you knew how hard it was to get that stuff and to like be in the position you're in, and like you could just be doing so much with it, and it's hard to see. It's not a jealousy, it's just frustrating to like watch someone squander that. But I've seen girls complain because they're not in that position, and if you are in that position and you have support to do that, I think that's amazing. Just don't squander it, and be appreciative of the people who are helping you get there, whether it's your parents or a husband or whatever it is. Like, please appreciate it, because it could change in a second, and a lot of people aren't blessed to have that. So if you are, just don't squander it and be grateful. And you should be winning, because if you have all of that, and if you're not winning and your horses, I see this every once in a while too. I see people buy really nice, expensive horses, and then the horse is ruined and they blow it up in like 6 months or a year, and then they buy a different horse, and like that keeps happening. You need to go to a trainer, spend some money at a trainer. Like, you could buy a horse for half the price, spend the other money, or not even close to it, working with a trainer and becoming a better rider, and you'd be winning. But if you have the money, you should be winning. For one, you should be at some level. Like, there's no excuse for you not to, because everyone has to put in the same amount of work to like keep a horse legged up and whatever. But you have the advantage of having less doors to go through than we do, less hurdles, so you should be winning. And if you're not, you need to look into like vet, you need to look into like a trainer or a different horse that maybe fits your style. But if you have money, you should be winning, in my opinion. There's not an excuse, because you have less hoops to jump through. But you also can win with literally no money. There's so many people have done it. I know I bring Fallon Taylor up a lot, but she does like check a lot of these boxes. She won a lot with no money when she restarted with Baby Flo, using a borrowed truck, borrowed trailer. And she's not the only one. I'm pretty sure that Martha Josie, it was a very similar experience. I think she bought her horse with money she had won. I think she was just using him, and then she won money, and then she bought him, I do believe is her story. Something like that. And she was like, it was like borrowed truck and trailer. Like, there's a lot of people who have done that. And yes, the prices of things have gone up today, but ultimately it can still be done. And I know a lot of people were shocked when I told them this. If you know Dinah, you know how fucking cool she is, whatever. I only paid $1,000 for Dinah, but she didn't know anything. She was very unhandled and needed a lot of work, and I put the time and money into doing all those things and like getting better and like whatever, and it wasn't easy, but she turned out to be a pretty dang good 1D 2D horse, where I was told that she would be hard to replace from someone who's gone to Ram Circuit Finals, won it, and I was told the horse needs to rodeo and she's gonna be really hard to replace. And that was like the first like 1D horse that I built, and that was $1,000 horse. So I don't want to hear you can't do it. And she was bred decent, like she was, cow and run, so she was a granddaughter of Special Effort and a great granddaughter of Daco Dynamite. But she had Rocket Wrangler too on the top side, but these are either grandpa or great grandpa, so like bred well and balanced nicely, I think. But it wasn't like an own daughter of Adios Panelones or Frenchman's Guy or something like way up there. But is it still on? I saw you looking.
Yeah, I was just peeking.
And so she wasn't. I mean, she was bred to be towards the type of job I wanted, the type of athleticism, and she wasn't pleasure bred. But I've also seen people take like pleasure horses and do pretty decent too. So like honestly, it's you you buy what you can or trade for what you can. I've done a lot of trading, trading up, making horses and trading them up for a better prospect and whatever. And you do what you can, and instead of sitting there and wishing in one hand and shitting in the other, basically, you know, you're not going to get anywhere constantly complaining. It's also okay to cry because it's hard.
Oh, yeah.
And take breaks or slow down as needed, because I've had to do that too. But I don't want to hear ever that it can't be done, because it is. And I'm pretty sure Trisha Aldridge started from absolutely nothing too. She started with riding junk horses as well, like nothing horses, and she built Adios Penales, who's currently the highest money winning like stud, I think, highest futurity winning stud. I can't remember if they're like, did they hit 1 million? Or was it something like that? I don't know. You'd have to look it up. If you don't know who Adios Penales is, you're living under a rock. But it can be done. You can do it. I think it can be harder, in a sense, to do it from like the ground up, building and making your own horses. And you will ruin horses, and you might have to fix them, you might not. I mean, a lot of times they're still better than what they started off with, but they're not going to be as good as, the horse that you trained 20 years ago is, I would hope it would be worse than the horse that you trained today.
Right.
Because you learn and grow. But you can make it on your own. You can do it the hard way if you really want to do it, but it's not going to be handed to you. And the thing is, I've also seen it where like these girls, they bust their ass, and when God says it's time, they have so many tools in their tool belt now.
Yeah.
And like when it's time for them to go, it's almost like they struggle a little less when they hit the road, whether it's futurities or rodeos or whatever it is, because they learned all of this hard stuff at home.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times it makes better horsemen.
Oh yeah.
I really feel like it just makes you a better horseman all the way around. And so there's pros and cons, but ultimately you can do it either way. And if you can do it in a way where you have less hurdles because you have the access of money and like help and things like that, that's awesome. But also I think you need to remember that money doesn't keep you winning. You still have to put in the time and effort to keep that horse the way it is and grow it to be better and work on yourself and work with a trainer. So that was like my next thing I wanted to go into, is the biggest thing when it comes to this, whether you have money or not, is you have to set aside your ego.
Yeah.
And you have to always be learning, because as soon as you don't do that, you stop progressing, and you're never sitting still. And I've learned this the hard way. You're never just sitting still. You're either going forwards or backwards.
Yep.
So sometimes you might need to like slow down or take like a little bit of a break per se, but like you can't just stay stagnant. That doesn't even work. You actually just end up being complacent, and you end up actually like losing skill, I feel like. So just putting your ego aside, putting your pride aside, learning, going to people for help, knowing when, and this goes whether you have money or not, a horse is not going to take you to the next level that you want to go to, because I've been on horses that were so fun, but I knew that I was maxing them out and it wasn't fair to them because I was frustrated I couldn't get any faster to compete at a higher level, but they were putting their life on the line every single time. So then you need to know, okay, this isn't fair for this horse. They need to go to someone else who is ready for the level that I'm at, right? Or I am with this horse, but I want to go to another level. And for me, it's been a lot of like getting a horse, training them, making them better. I'll max them out in a sense. I'll sell them, and then I can't afford to buy a finished horse, and I also need to pocket some of that money to just like pay myself back or invest in like tack or something to like grow to the next level. And I will buy a project. That's what I did with Dinah. Like I just bought a project that had a higher caliber or something I thought I could get to that level, but it's going to take me another 2 or 3 years to do it. Some people can do it faster. I can't. I actually prefer to go slower because I just think your foundation ends up being stronger, but it also depends on the horse.
Right.
And I think it depends on like how much money you have too, because if I could haul more often, that would change a lot of things with certain horses I had. If I could afford to like take 2 months and like hit the road a little, but not even hit the road, but just like go to several like weeknight jackpots, like your horse will get exposure faster and stuff too, and whatever. And every horse is different, but ultimately, like, you can do it either way. But if you have ego and have pride, that is not going to do anything but hinder you and hinder your horses. Before I go to my next topic, I'm kind of just like running through this. Do you have anything to say?
Honestly, you have probably like more experience with this side of things. I've been with the same horse for the last, how long have I had her?
5 or 6 years?
7?
Yeah.
Like 7 years, I think. So
but you've had horses though where you know, like, you had to move on because that wasn't the fit anymore.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's not fair to that horse if, like, when you were talking about that paint horse who was a really nice horse, but was not going to be a barrel horse.
Yeah.
That would not be fair to him for you to sit there and try to make him do something that he hates.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
And then you're pissed off at him. He's pissed off at you. All you're doing is ruining a horse so someone else has to fix, or you have to fix later on and give it a different job. There's a difference between a horse struggling to learn something or physically be fit enough to do it and getting fit to do it, and a horse who just hates their job and needs a different job. And so if you don't want to do that job, that's okay. But then if you don't have the money to keep that horse and do the job that it wants, it's also okay to let it go. Like, I've only ever had usually a few horses at a time, but I've had like a combination of like almost 20 horses in my life, my personal horses.
Right.
And I've ridden a lot of other people's horses, like more, I've ridden so many horses. I need to sit down and count one day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm going to be missing a bunch, but I'm just so curious because I feel like I've ridden way more than 100 horses at this point in my life.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And not just hopped on for a second and jump ride. I don't want to count those ones, but ones that I actually like worked with and probably benefited somewhat, or they taught me when I was in the very beginning stages.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, and it doesn't matter who you are or your tax bracket, and I don't care. None of that matters to me. And I will judge you on this 100%. Putting your horse first.
Oh yeah.
I will always judge someone who doesn't put their horse first. Every single time.
Yep.
And that comes in everything, like every aspect. I'm not saying I'm a perfect horse owner. No one is, but I've seen people who blatantly just like, it's not just ignorance is bliss situation. It's
disregarding.
It's disregarding and almost negligence, in my opinion. Because they do know better, they're just too lazy to do it. And I've seen a lot of people not put their horse first for so many different reasons. There's so many different ways it could happen. Example, maybe, oh, it's a fairy bug. Another one? Yeah, it's over there. Oh yeah, it is. I think it is a fairy bug.
They got poofy
yes,
butt.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah, they look like little dresses, little like feathers or whatever. Like, let's say example, you're running a 3-day race and you make a finals run, you know, like, they're so cute. I love them so much. It's right here. Oh, yes. I love them.
It's such a fluffy butt.
I love it. It's coming by you. So no, it's kind of just hanging out. Anyway, let's say you're on a 3-day event and there was 2 averages and you made the finals on Sunday. This happens at some races. And your horse is like dead lame and you just butte the shit out of it and run it.
Yeah.
I'm judging you. I know it sucks to eat that money, but like, these are not 4-wheelers that you can just like do a quick fix on. And so these are horses that like could have an injury because you didn't put them first. I'm not just saying like there may be a little body sore. That's a different story to me. Like if they're just a little body sore, they maybe need some MagnaWave or a little extra, I don't know, something to like help them not to function a little bit better, whatever, to get through that 3rd day. But like, if you're just disregarding something that's not super mild to just make a run because you don't want to lose money, I think you're shitty.
Yeah, that's really shady behavior. And it's just like, what? If you could do that to your own animal, like what could you do to other people? It really just like makes me question when I see people do stuff like that.
Yeah, especially behind closed doors. Because I mean, a lot of people don't know, you know. There's a lot of stuff like that, though, I've seen with horses, too. Like, people will, the way that they act in the holding pen or back by their trailers. And I'm not one that doesn't get after my horse. I'll get after one if I need to. The other day, Chewy decided she was going to be a pronk on my neighbor's front yard. And so she got a split right into the ass and got her head cranked. And I do that with her when she starts to buck. And that's what stopped her bucking, like, issues besides like figuring out that she had back pain, but that's what I could get a hold of it. And every bucker that I've had, they don't like it when you're like, let's go, bitch. They don't like it. Because a lot of the ones I've been on are fibber buckers too.
Yeah.
Where they want to buck, but when you get aggressive, they're like, oh, that doesn't scare you.
Yeah.
So I'll crank the head around so I can control her nose. I'll kick her because like you want to raise energy, let's raise energy, and then I'll crack her on the butt. Now it's different if a horse is scared. That's a different situation. I don't act that way. But when they're being naughty, we go toe to toe.
Yeah.
And it gets dicey sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I gotta put the split rein down and grab my horn, but we still be kicking.
But yeah, like the people who will get after a horse, like
yank on a horse's face and beat on them because they couldn't ride it right, and then
and it's like you could go back and you could watch it run it and you could be like, what are you even? It could be the tiniest thing. I've seen it so many times at just random jackpots, whatever, where it's like this person gets done with a run and they're just reefing on their horse for what? And it's like I couldn't pick it out.
Yeah.
So some people are at home. Yeah. For these horses.
Yeah. Yep. And so I was talking about when the girl threw a fit and yanked on her horse, basically beat on her, and then jumped off horse and left when I was giving her a free lesson. I was so shocked that an adult did that. But that's the thing too, and that was in front of someone. So what do they do at home? There's a fairy bud right there. Oh yeah. I love them. They're so cute. They just float around.
They do.
I don't really understand what they are. I've looked them up once. I don't remember what they are, but I just will always call them a fairy bug.
I feel like my dad told me at one point.
I think they're so cute. I love them.
He knew random things about like bugs and trees and
I don't like any bugs, but I love a fairy bug. But yeah, horse first, always. And I have learned too, when you put your horse first, I don't know, I've never experienced this with a gelding, but I've also never had a gelding with major issues that I've had to like correct either, because I've had a lot of mares. I've noticed with mares, I've gotten mares who were like had a lot of issues that I worked through with them, and once I like got their respect and they also just like appreciated the soreness that I got them out of and all the things, they will put their heart on the line for me every single time, and they won't do it for somebody else, but they'll do it for me. Because like there's this relationship of like love and respect and like teamwork that it gets built if you treat them that way. And I've been on horses that are just amazing and they love to do their job and been around them, but they're almost like robots, and I don't want a robot horse. I don't want a robot horse. I want a horse that has personality and enjoys their life. And like my horses will come running up to see me. Chewy likes to play hard to get when I have a halter sometimes because she's lazy, but she also like loves going on trail rides too. She just has to be testy. But like I love my horses enjoying my presence, and so and I just like seeing them thrive. And I feel like if you're actually a good horseman, you would want to see your horse want to thrive. And so I'm not saying that there's not maybe people who have been harsher on their horses and not understood and like learned, but if you don't know that, maybe pay attention, because 9 times out of 10 a horse isn't just naughty. There's some type of pain thing going on, or you fucked up and you didn't realize it. But don't take it out on your horse. I've pulled on horses' faces twice in my life when I went to go stop them, and it was only because they were completely pulling through the bit and it was getting dangerous. So when I did stop them, I made them back up, because I'm like, this is never gonna happen. I should never want.
Oh my gosh, there's so many now.
Because that was dangerous is what it was, and so I had to correct. But I've seen it where you're talking about where people, and you're like, there was nothing really wrong, like there's nothing wrong with the horse. Maybe the rider screwed up and they got pissed off, or it wasn't the time they wanted and they just reefed on the horse's mouth. Do not be that person.
That's the secondhand embarrassment.
I just want to know, I just want everyone to know that if my child ever does that, she'll be getting her hinder ripped off that horse and popped with a split rein herself, because that is disgusting behavior, and you will not treat an animal that way. And it's just like one of those things that like, it's a hard line in the sand for me. It's not gray, it's just black and white. And so I think that anyone can make it at any level they want. It's just not going to be on your timeline or probably as fast as you want.
Exactly.
But I think you can do it. Like, I really think that anyone who wants to run at the NFR, maybe that'll be controversial. I think anyone who really wants to do it bad enough absolutely can. But it's not going to be handed to them, and it's probably not going to be in a time frame that they would prefer. And that's just like a large scale of it. But I really just think that anyone can do this isn't even horses. I think anyone can do anything they want to do
Yeah.
with any gift that they have, any passion that they have, if they put their ego and pride aside and always learn and always put that thing first.
Yep.
Second, really, because God comes first, but like all of that ties in.
Right.
But that's my TED talk on that.
Yeah. And a lot of patience.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I'm like the most impatient person, but when it comes to horses, I'm like so patient around them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a not the same person. And I'm very like, you can't like read my face because I'm used to horses acting up and like being able to just like control the situation.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking to Eli about how he thought Hottie was going to flip over with me that one day because she was just like overwhelmed with like all the stuff going on her face. Like her hair was touching her face. She's overwhelmed because it was the first time I loped her with a saddle for like 3 years. Mm-hmm. There's just so much going on, and she was shaking her head, and I was worried she was going to rear too, but I looked like this. Mm-hmm. Because I was just waiting for a moment, and I knew there was nothing I could do to correct her that wouldn't trigger her in that moment. So I was waiting till she kept her foot steady so I could get out and calm her down, because she wasn't being naughty. She was just overwhelmed. I didn't prep her for what I asked her for. Yeah. And she was coming apart because I didn't prep her. That wasn't her fault at all. She very well, if I would have not handled it that way, could have flipped. But Eli didn't see because I was like this. Because I'm used to these situations because I've had to like make a lot of horses, so I'm used to horses doing way worse. Yeah. He thought I was just oblivious to it, and he was like, "You need to get off right now." And he's freaking out. And I got off. I was like, "I was going to get off." He goes, "No, you weren't. You would just look like this." I was like, "Oh no, I was just planning my escape." Because I do it calmly. If she would have felt, she's so sensitive, and a lot of horses are sensitive, more sensitive than you would expect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he thought that I was just like oblivious to it. And I was like, no, I just knew if I showed any emotion, I would have been feeling it in my body, and she would have felt it. It probably would have sent her to do something. And she wasn't trying to be naughty. I didn't prep her for what I asked her for. And if she was overwhelmed, that was my fault. That was a bad trainer moment. And that's why I got off and calmed her down, because she wasn't being naughty. If I would have gotten out after in that moment, she would have probably flipped. Yeah. That was my fault. I didn't prep her for it. I didn't even give her the tool to like properly succeed in that. And so I got back on and I loped around a little bit more, and like we ended on a good note, but she needed a minute, and that's okay. Yeah. That was my fault. But yeah, if I would have gotten after her, I probably would end up in a little situation. Yeah, it's good that you can recognize that. Yeah, I've also had that horse for a really long time, and I understand like on the money reds and firewater flits can be very her sensitive. Specifically. Yeah. And I also knew like the whole situation. So I don't have anything more to add to that really, except for horse first, put your pride and ego aside, always keep learning. And if you have money, that doesn't exclude you from that. You just get to skip the steps of having to do the hard stuff with the horse. But if you buy a horse with that money, that doesn't mean that was still hard. Someone had to work for that money. So whether it was like you or your family or something like that still is hard. But basically, it doesn't matter what way you do it. You will never be consistently successful and growing in this success if you don't put your pride and ego aside and put your horse first and always continue to learn. And it's actually okay if you don't want to do that and you just want to like have a happy horse and like run in the 3D 40. That's also okay too. Yeah. Or 60, like if you just want to enjoy it, there's nothing against that. Like there's literally nothing against that, but just know like once you start getting like 2D, I feel like it does get more competitive. And so like if you want to reach those goals, there's just a lot more that goes into it as far as like horse care and like horsemanship and riding, and like it really gets really tight once you get to the top. But if you just want to enjoy it, I mean, you still need to be a good horseman and take care of your horse. But for sure. But yeah, it just depends, I guess, what you want to do. But ultimately, still put your horse first and your pride aside and whatever, because they're big animals, but they're also very sensitive. Yeah, I don't have anything else I can think of. This is probably a little bit of a short one, but I don't know. I think our little Betty Bible study was a really good. I loved it. Yeah, I love our Betty Bible studies, and I'm so happy I can say it now. Just took a while. I'll mess it up next time too. Also, I don't know. I would like to one of these days, if there's enough interest in it, maybe do like a live when we're together before we record, and do like a live Q&A or something like that. Or if anyone has stuff they want to like have us go over, I think that'd be fun. We're just so busy right now, but on a different day, it kind of would be fun. Yeah. But I want to like schedule it so people know to pop on, because we are like have such a small following basically that it's like no one would know really. But and maybe do another Q&A day, like podcast situation, because I think those are fun. Yeah. I don't know. If you have something specific you want us to like talk about, definitely put it in the comments, because just because we haven't talked about it doesn't mean we don't want to. It's just we haven't gotten there yet, or maybe thought of that. Also, I think we're going to start kind of looking into interviewing people, to like get other people's opinions and life experiences and like all the different knowledge that someone else would have on horsey things. Maybe not even horsey things, but if you would like to be on the podcast, shoot us a message and we can try to figure that out too. Even if we can't meet in person, which is ideal, but we could do like Zoom or something like that too. Because we've been doing, obviously it's just been us so far, but we do want to get like interviews on, and if you have people you want to have us interview, you could recommend that too, and we can definitely reach out and see what we can make happen. We're just little baby podcasters. Yes.
Bugs.
But we do want to do all the things with it, so I'm open to recommendations. I'm sure you are too, because like I said, just because we haven't said it doesn't mean it's something we don't want to do. It's, we're just starting out, so So yeah, what should we do for the emoji?
That I don't know.
What did we talk about? Did the Bible study, and we did horse training stuff.
The money bag.
I was thinking the money bag. Yeah. Something with money. Let's do, if you watched all the way to the end, let us know. There's a little fairy bug. There's 2 fairy bugs!
Come here. Come here. It's
pushing it up to the sky. If you watched all the way to the end, comment a money bag emoji. You can do it on Spotify too.
Yep.
I didn't know you could do it until someone else did, and then I gave them a virtual high five.
Yeah.
And yeah, then we'll know you watched all the way through and you're part of the Cool Kids Club. I think eventually I want to do a giveaway, like someone who comments the first one or something like that, or we could do like a drawing once we get more people following, where give something away.
That would be fun
of some sort.
It'd be very fun.
Yeah, I want to do all the things and stuffs and things and stuff and stuff and things.
Yeah. We're
getting there slowly. We're getting our groove a little bit of like the foundation of it. So, but yeah. So, cheers. I hope you guys have a good week, and we will see you in episode 11. Bye. Bye.